I'm logged into Solid Snake server as root user. For this installation, we are not going to use ASM library for storing database files. So here if we see the devices under dev folder, we have SDA, which is the root file system, and the swap. SDA1 is for root and SDA2 is for the swap. We have 4 extra disks which we don't have any partitions on: SDB, SDC, SDD, SDE. We'll be using these for Oracle software and Oracle database storage. These are all local drives. Now first thing we'll do is create a partition using fdisk command on SDB disk. M is for help. We'll use the new partition option. We'll create a primary partition. Partition number will be 1. We'll just select the default option and we'll choose the entire disk size, so default is good. We can print the partition table using P option and we can review the partition. So we can see here SDB disk has a new partition called SDB1. It is using the full disk space and you can see it's about 21 gigabytes. 21.4 gigabytes. We can use the option now to write the partition table to the disk and exit using W. Now we will create one single partition on other 3 drives. Looking at the partitions again, SDB1 is the newly created partition. We'll create more partitions now on SDC. We'll create a partition on SDD. SDE also will create a partition. Now we'll look at the devices and the partitions again under dev. We can see we have SDB1. This is a partition on SDB, SDC1, SDD1 and SDE1. These are the 4 partitions we created on the 4 disks we have. We'll be using these for Oracle software and Oracle database storage. Now we have to format these partitions. So using MKFS, which is the make file system type is ext3. We'll specify SDB1. It will format the partition. And we'll create the file system on the other 3 partitions also. SDC1, create file system on SDD1, create file system on SDE1. Now we have created file systems on all 4 partitions. We'll create folders for the mount points so we can mount these partitions. We are following standard convention of U01 to U04. So here we have U01, U02, U03 and U04 for 4 partitions. We can mount those partitions on these folders. Now we will edit the etc fs tab file, and we will specify the mount points in the file. It's pretty simple. We are telling which partition to be mounted onto which folder, what is the file system type, and all the other default values. We'll specify all 4 partitions to be mounted as U01 to U04. fstab is used when the system restarts to mount all the required partitions. So you can see that fstab looks good. We have added 4 entries for 4 partitions we need to mount. Right now, without restarting the server, we can use the mount command to mount these partitions. So we'll mount 4 partitions here, and they'll be mounted based on the fstab entry. We can check the U01. Everything looks okay. So right now U01, 2, 3, 4 are, even though they're folders, we have mounted the 4 partitions on them. We can also use mount command to check what partitions are mounted or what file systems are mounted. And you can see here SDB1 to SDE1 are all mounted as read-write partitions on U01 to U04.